Hi, this is Middie from MiddieBuzz.com. I'm here at the pit stop located at 89 Cottage Street in Middletown, New York, and I'm here with DJ Estrada. How you doing, baby?
Hi, what's up, girl?
Nothing much. He is one of my veteran DJs. He's been in the business for quite some time without giving away how long, but he's been at it for quite some time now. He's actually located at the Westgate on Friday nights, so if you want to check him out, the Westgate is in Middletown, New York. So if people don't really know about your history, give us a little bit of gist of how you started as a DJ.
Started, way back in okay.
Okay, that's good.
You know, you work first for free. You're doing your thing with your family until you could establish some decent money to get a decent equipment, to buy records. And then you start having parties with your friends, and then you start having parties with your block, and then you start having battle competitions and stuff like that. And it just goes from there. You know, it started in the Bronx, it went from there to Manhattan, from Manhattan, upstate.
See, I remember back then, which I don't want to give myself away either, but the jams, the basement jams. To me, that was like
those were the best parties.
Yes.
Best parties. One light, usually red or yellow,
Yep.
or maybe green if you had some money, and that was it. Swung from the middle of the ceiling, and the DJ had speakers that touched the ceiling,
Yeah.
and you rocked from 9 o'clock in the evening till whatever you can get out of there.
Now, I got a question for you. Back then, with all the vinyls that you had, which one was the one that you used like the most? Like you kind of pretty much abused that song because you loved it so much.
I had 6 copies of Good Times.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, as DJs that ever use vinyl or use needles, no. I used to have a groove in the first 2 that I can drop the needle pretty much anywhere. It would skip right into the groove. I didn't need to mark it and didn't need to, it just fell right into the groove. I ended up buying another 2 because the other ones were just getting so played it didn't even sound the same anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, so, you know, I kept those and I just moved on. But, you know, there's certain slow jams that you know you had to play.
Right.
No matter what was going on, even if the floor was empty. You play a slow jam,
Like Heat Wave.
party,
Like
always
Heat
and
Wave.
forever.
Yep.
Forget it. It was very. I'll try to keep it PG, but it was very pretty out there. It's a beautiful moment.
That's funny. Now, from that point on, you got involved more into the clubs.
Yeah, I did a lot of smaller entertainment spots. I was never really big into big nightclubs, the Palladium, Limelight. I used to do security down there. I used to hang out with a lot of the DJs down there. I was in for the record pool, which, you know, had some of the best New York City DJs had to offer. That was the record pool. And to sit back and watch Jelly Bean Benitez, David Morales, you know, Little Louis Vega, these guys do their thing. It was just a beautiful, you know, you didn't have to play. You know, it was just the fact that you were a part of it. You know, that's what was great. You know, Roman Ricardo.
I love Roman.
Those names that to this day still put, you know, hair on end.
Oh my God, Roman from the tunnel.
From the tunnel, you know, the Palladium. I mean, I could watch him spin 3 turntables, 3 different songs, and it sounded like it was meant to be. Just that was the new hit, and he had 3 different things going. Arm could fall off his record player, and he wouldn't even know.
Now, I know you're going through what I always call what the veterans go through, this kind of like transitional phase. You go from vinyl, then you go into CDs, and then you go into things like Serato. Now, is there anything that you feel that is missing when you go through this transition? When you go from something that you felt in your hand, like vinyl, into something that is really quick in a button? Do you feel like there's something missing or something gaining?
I could honestly say that, you know, as a old school DJ, I'm probably one of the last ones that are doing the transition from CD to Serato. Serato, I feel, is probably one of the better programs out there for DJs, but there's a lot of them out there, but I believe Serato's the best. The difference between new school, old school is exactly how they play. You're carrying that laptop to bring light to this event. You're not carrying the laptop to do your job.
Exactly.
That's the difference between just pushing a button. Yeah, you're going to push a button to drop that song, but it's what a DJ does with that song that's going to make him either make him a break. You know, you don't even have to be the best in it. If you know what you're doing, they're always going to come back to listen to you. That's definite.
Now, what's your most memorable moment as a DJ? Like, even looking back, whether it's back when you started or something even more recent, like the most memorable, whether it's a funny situation, embarrassing situation.
Funny situations are usually the weddings and, you know, the anniversaries, you know, the surprise birthday parties. You know, you love to see people walk in, not know that this is going on, and for, you know, 2,000, 3,000 watts of sound to blare as they walk in through the door. You know, they're running the opposite direction, they're falling to their knees, you know, it looks like they're ready to jump out of their skin. That's like the most memorable things. As a DJ, you know, you can't be upset, unhappy, you can't be down.
Exactly.
They hired you to be the main part of this event, or their event. The most memorable one is when we were burying my grandmother. I had a wedding that was probably my third or fourth wedding as a brand new mobile DJ.
Wow.
The day we were burying her was the day that I had this wedding.
Wow.
I couldn't cancel on him. We had the interview, we had 2 meetings. You know, in the back of my mind, I knew what I was going through, but you had to put it away to do the job. It was a 5-hour event, and they were dancing on the table, screaming and hollering. The bride and groom were the only 2 that in that party that knew what I was going through.
Wow.
And that right there, I said, from here on out, this is what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah, because I know you do a lot of private parties and weddings and things like that, because that's pretty much like your niche that you love to do.
It's a variety. You know, that's what I think the DJs are missing now. It's the variety.
Yeah.
You know, you can do a wedding and play today's dance music, but you better remember yesterday's. You better remember the 50s, the 60s. You better remember a couple of Lindsays and a couple of cha-chas, and you know, you need to know that stuff. And that, no matter what, even if you have routines or sets, you still put something new. Every time you play a wedding, you play something new on that system.
Now, how is it going at the Westgate? Because I know it's something that is not part of, you know, more of your private gigs, but I like going over there. I end my gig and I go to the Westgate. You know?
I've seen you there a couple of times.
Yeah.
We try to rock them.
And they get mad at you when you have to stop.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. You know, there is a time frame. You know, you pay for the funky tech. It's only for a few hours, and I always seem to be going over that time.
Yeah. I know.
You know, but we have a great time. You know, it started off, Friday nights weren't very popular. It was kind of a slow night. Somebody asked me if I could help them out. You know, so a couple of friends that were bartenders, Johnny and Bert, shout out, asked if I could help them out, and we did it. And we started it pretty much from the ground up. I'm not going to say it's jam-packed, lines out the door, but it's pretty busy. It's steady. But my private gigs are my priority. The Westgate is definitely a place to go on a Friday night. If you don't have a lot of money in your pocket and you want to hear some banging music, it's a good spot to start.
Now, what I would like is for you to pretty much, if you want to give some type of advice for new upcoming DJs that are just starting into this industry, what would you like to tell them?
First bit of advice, you're playing for the crowd. Put your iPods away, put your personal music away. The only thing that you're going to be able to do with that is just either annoy somebody or you're just going to have the same following. You have to play for the crowd. You're playing for the people that are paying you. Period. You learn that, everything else falls into place. Learn your music. Learn your music.
Well, that's wonderful advice. DJ Dave, thank you so much for giving me this interview. I love you. Again, you can see him at the Westgate on Friday nights. Also, he will have a profile on MiddieBuzz.com. So if you want to get any information on Dave and how to contact him for maybe your next private venue, please check out his profile at www.MiddieBuzz.com. Thank you, and signing off.